India, a majestic country with more than billion people living together. In the history of mankind, we could never find a country with such diverse population, speaking hundreds of different languages, worshipping countless different gods belonging to different religions, but not quite sure what exactly caste means, but still people believe in it. For centuries, we had true spiritual gurus who have sacrificed their life to teach about enlightenment and being mindful. But in recent decades, there have been certain ingenious people, so-called self-proclaimed spiritual gurus, who have understood and found two things in common with most Indians: faith and the fear of God. We are not going to discuss anything about religious, spiritualism or rationalism, but about these gurus in the images who have gone a step further, exploit people's belief and fear, not only to accumulate tons of wealth, but also fulfill their sexual desire.
लग चुके हैं, कबीर पर लग चुके हैं.
Asumel Tomal Arpalani, also called as Asaram Bapu, this 72-year-old self-proclaimed godman who had brutally molested and sexually abused a minor. Before his allegations, he was one of the most followed spiritual gurus in India, with close to 10,000 crores worth of assets came in form of donations and extortion. For more than 5 decades, he has been practicing and preaching fake spirituality across our country, where most of the followers are not just common people, but also famous celebrities and big politicians. With the power and influence he accumulated over the years, his fame mindset slowly turned him into a full-time evil, committing unforgettable crimes for decades thereafter. Back in 2008, 2 children went missing from Asaram Bapu's ashram. Later, the bodies of boys were found mutilated. The parents accused Asaram and his followers for practicing black magic and human sacrifice. The case still remains a mystery, which was eventually withdrawn due to lack of evidence. But his 50 years of fame came to an end with this single incident, when an old godman's urge of sexual pleasure went straight to his goddamn head. The rape against a 16-year-old minor. On the day of horror, his devotees with his wife and daughter visited Asaram Bapu's ashram in Jodhpur, Rajasthan, where he convinced the victim's parents to offer special prayers for their daughter who got possessed by an evil spirit. Asaram Bapu took her alone in his premises, and the dark incident took over, where her parents waited outside his premises. Following this incident, the victim's parent filed a zero FIR case. These fake gurus truly believe that with foolish followers and powerful influence, they can escape from anything. That's exactly what happened in the initial stage, where his foolish followers started protesting and threatened to kill the victim and her family. But soon the government intervened and jailed the famous godman, sentenced life in prison from 2013. Not sure if the victim could ever recover from this incident, but the justice was served indeed.
There is no God, so how can I consider myself a God?
Rajneesh Chandra Mohan, also called as Osho, the name itself lit up people's eyes. This famous cult guru mastered the art of bringing curiosity in people's minds by using buzzwords, free love and consensual pleasure with anyone desired. Osho's ideology was very different from other cult gurus. The term God did not exist in his teachings, which attracted millions of followers all over the world. This was also the time when India, being a multi-religious country, had a majority of people forced and bound to a specific religion. Suddenly his words made sense to people who had always questioned the existence of God. In Osho's case, he did not pull or hypnotize any of his followers, because his followers were already hypnotized with the same thoughts as he claimed. With the huge followers came huge donations, enabling him to live God-like life on earth, buying expensive cars and properties, and hosting fancy parties for all his celebrity followers. This lifestyle also brought in controversial statements across country, and soon in India, the legal cases also filed in because of tax evasion and immigration frauds. For several years, there were reports of sexual encounters and relationship between Osho and some of his female followers. This was constantly denied by him and his cult group. His story came to an end when his followers carried out bioterror attack in Oregon, USA, by infecting food with salmonella bacteria in an effort to manipulate local elections. If successful, it would have resulted in removal of the cult community from the village. Even years after his death, people still believe in his teachings, and his followers can still be found in households where his pictures is worshipped like a god. Be extra cautious with those individuals. You will thank me later. Osho's teachings serve as one of the best examples to prove that when we truly believe in something evil, and suddenly if someone or a cult group follows the same evil ideology, it's like adding a drop of fuel to an already burning fire. Nothing will stop us from joining this kind of groups.
I'll develop a proper phonetic, linguistic, capable vocal cord for monkeys.
Rajasekaran, also called as Nithyananda. The man is a mystery. Someone who has learned and mastered the art of acting, becoming a meme material and causing everyone to forget his numerous brutal sexual assaults, murders and kidnapping cases. This fake god man claims to be the avatar of Lord Shivji, gained millions of followers not just in India but across globe with his controversial statements such as speaking to cows using Sanskrit and Tamil languages and predicting the future with his third eye. Most controversially, he claimed that with his superpower, he can delay the sunrise in the morning. As mentioned in the early part of the video, Nithyananda followed a completely different strategy to attract and deceive his devotees by using these powerful words with also a sense of humor. His calm behavior with a sense of humor brought him quick fame and wealth, leading to the establishment of his ashram in a place called Shirdi at Karnataka. His first scandal came to light where every follower willing to stay in his ashram had to sign on a non-disclosure agreement. Well, it seemed like a normal agreement, right? But guess what? It included terms like being comfortable having sex with the Guruji of their own free will. These informations was exposed by his devotees when things went out of control. In 2012, his devotee went on live TV and claimed that he had brutally harassed her physically and mentally for close to 5 years. Following this accusation, Nithyananda left his ashram and went absconding for 5 days and later surrendered in the court. During these 5 days, police officials raided his ashram and collected evidence including multiple condom packets and bags of green leaves. From here, his dark phase began with multiple cases running for more than 5 decades. But guess what? Nithyananda is not in prison, not even in the country. Instead, he claims to own his own country called Kailasha. However, according to the data available, it's just a fictional country created by him and his followers to escape and hide from all his cases and crimes. Even with all these accusations and hideouts, he comes online from time to time to ensure that people and his devotees never forget him. We could clearly see that he is still living the same godman life despite all the crimes he has committed. The biggest question here is, in spite of all the modern technology and India's rise of power in recent years, how could we not trace this brutal sex offender who's fooling everyone with a sense of humor in front of the camera and hiding his true face behind the camera? Well, looks like we might never find the answer for that. Let's say hypothetically, you saw Nithyananda on the streets, which you might. Will you remember about his accusations or his trending memes online? Comment down your thoughts below. The list of fake spiritual gurus or cult leaders is endless, and sadly, new gurus will still continue to merge in the future. Nothing is going to stop them. People might defend that these fake gurus helped millions of people in terms of charity, but the question is at what cost? Definitely not at the cost of someone's life. The moment we set aside our blind faith and belief towards any religious or spiritual or ideology teaching and start utilizing something very powerful yet very simple called as common sense and critical thinking, we might get answers for most of our questions. These kind of fake gurus can be found in any religious, Hindu, Christian, Muslim, does not matter. This video was never intended to bring any religious or faith down, but to remind people that still these kind of fake gurus exist in our society. Again, thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, Sunil Cristiano.